What is the closest non-sexual thing to an asterisk you have experienced? Had a severe poison oak rash all over my upper arm and shoulder. It itched like mad. I went in the shower and turned the water to near scalding hot and blasted my poison oak rash with it. It felt so good. I had this weird full body. I was shuddering in pleasure as I stood in the shower. I had Rocky Mountain spotted fever and was lost in a brutal heat pain delirium for several days. When the fever broke, I was immediately drenched in sweat and felt a relief that was near orgasmic. I'm asthmatic. The first breath with an inhaler 12 hours after your asthma starts to bother you and you forgot yours at home. When you get that first full lung full of beautiful, beautiful air. One time, I had a big stretch after a few hours sitting at my computer. And my back popped in 5 places. So good. Getting my ear flushed out with warm water. Years ago I used one of those beeswax candle things that supposedly suck wax out of your ear when you light them on fire. Well, some of the ash floated down into the cone and hit my eardrum. So I went to the doctor and they flushed it out with a warm solution, and it was the most satisfying feeling I've ever felt to date. Aside. I was barely able to hear for almost 2 months thanks to a really bad infection I got after chemo. I woke up late in the afternoon and my eardrums just started spasming. Then all of a sudden I could hear. Hearing again basically made me cry out of joy. 1. But the eardrum spasming was oddly pleasurable. 1. There was a possibility I was gonna need surgery that might cause permanent damage, plus not being able to hear music in a very stressful time wasn't great. That, and I listened to music on a daily basis for probably a solid 8 hours out of my awake time in a day. It helps with my anxiety. I'm not a very good musician, but I have had a few really great experiences with nailing some improvisational moments with a few friends. There's nothing quite like it. No one gonna talk about the feeling when you rub your eyes and you can't stop. It feels like an eye? The first time someone used one of those wire head scratchers on my scalp. By God, I was making goat noises. It was awkward. And yet so good. Crawling into cool fresh sheets after your shower on a day you were at the beach. Sun exhaustion. Clean feeling after shower. Comfy in sheets with the AC on. My favorite. Edit. I know you're not meant to do this. But wow, this blew up. Thanks y'all. Also, you all keep commenting about shaving your legs first. You're all absolutely right. People playing with my hair. I always can't help but roll my eyes up out of satisfaction. It's weird that I do this, that's why I don't like people caressing my hair. Edit. Thank you for the award. Shocked face. Being very tired and falling into a freshly made bed with newly washed bed linen. Like heaven. Edit. Well, what do you know? Just writing a comment about sleeping and now I have gold. Thanks, kind stranger. When I was much younger I was a pretty hardcore stoner. The first time I planned to do a mushroom trip, I stocked up on traditional munchies. Chips. Pizza Hot Pockets and stuff. Few hours in, I decided to bust them out and was mortified at how overwhelmingly disgusting it all was. Next trip, I went out on a limb and bought a big bowl of mixed fruit. I literally could not contain myself. I had to go outside to eat it away from my roommates because I could not stop laughing maniacally at how unbelievably delicious it was. Every bite, every gush of fruit juice sent me into pure, giddy, holy bliss. I can only imagine what our neighbors must have thought of me sitting in the backyard cracking up and losing my mind over a bowl of fruit. That one time I used a neti pot and the sinus infection that had been ruining my life for the past week came out in one glorious blob. I swear to God it was like the size of a softball. All one gelatinous blob. I cried. Amazing. I drank a whole theater-sized large soda before watching Return of the King. By the end of the movie, I was having what best could be called air contractions. Gross warning. You have been warned. Okay. I don't know how that happened, but a few years ago I pulled a thin thread of snot. As I pulled more and more it would be getting thicker and thicker to a point where I felt like I was pulling my brains out as I pulled a snot the size of a golf ball from my nose. The feeling was the most satisfying I had ever experienced. Then edit. I forgot to mention the tickles while I pulled. That was a pleasure experience from start to finish. Edit 2. Great. My most upvoted and gold awarded comment is about snot. Rip in peace inbox. I had 2 huge plastic stents placed into each nostril for an entire month after surgery to fix my septum. The month was dreadful. I finally went in to have them removed at the end of the month, and the doctor pulled them both out along with massive clots of bloody boogers. Holy! That first 15 minutes after was like heaven on earth. I teared up and had a big fat smile on my face walking out of the hospital. It was such an amazing feeling. I spent an entire night coding for a coursework without running it until it was finished. Ran perfectly with no errors first time. I moaned so loud. I'm honestly the kind of person who prefers silence over music. But when you listen to something powerful and it fits your mood, that's great. Getting my back scratched. That said, everything remotely orgasmic is sexual in my book. Including buttery food. Edit. 1,000 upvotes? Wow. It's like getting a back scratch from the internet. Drinking cold water when you're very dehydrated. Eating the food you've been craving, and it's actually satisfying. That first spring day it smells like spring. Like, it's official in your head when that scent hits. Getting into bed after a long day. A good hug. Getting a massage. Delicious food. Getting a splinter out of my toe after 2 days of it being swollen and painful to touch. Seeing and feeling that horrifying long piece of wood pop out of my toe, pure bliss. Followed closely by the sensation of finally getting a blocked ear canal irrigated and unblocked. At a gig. When the lights go down and the music starts. That feeling of the bass in your chest. Eating a warm, fudgy brownie with ice cream on top. The foodgasm was real. A glass of water when parched. #HydroHomies. When someone else washes your hair. The girl that cuts mine does a little scalp massage end at the same time, and yes. That. A steak I made one time tasted orgasmic. I've been trying to replicate it ever since. I eventually found out it was mostly the salt that gave it the flavor I wanted, but it might have also had to do with the butter or how I cooked the fat. I've come close but still never got the same flavor like I did that one time. It was a ribeye cut, and that's what I always use now. I've got 3 contestants. All of which are relstead to backpacking. Taking off your pack at the end of the day. Showering when you get back. Sleeping in a real bed or even just a cot when you get back. Waking up before my alarm. Realizing I have hours and sinking back into bed. The ride of the Rohirrim saving Minas Tirith. Oh my god. Foot massage. Back massage. Head massage. Ecstasy. And cocaine. Listening to music at night. This is made 1,000 times better if you listen to music at night while traveling through a big city. I actually look forward to long car trips for this reason. Scratching my eczema-riddled skin. It's so bad but feels so good. This is going to sound cliché, but I once played a soccer match where the opposing defenders just kicked the out of me for 85 minutes. I finally managed to escape their attention and score the winning goal a couple of minutes before full time. I've never had such a massive rush of adrenaline. I was still shaking half an hour after the match had ended. This one makes me a bit sad. I accidentally shook a friend's hand the other day. I'm cautious as I work at a medical facility. I'm safe. But I do my best the social distance. It was the first physical human contact other than my immediate family that I have had in months. When I walked away, my whole body felt giddy, for lack of a better term. Giving birth. The instant physical relief plus finally seeing the actual human being you created is indescribable. My biggest commission check one month was about $10,000. That was pretty dope. Hot running water over your head when you've got a migraine. The instant pain relief come pretty close. This is kinda weird, but sometimes when I'm pulling like that liquidy eye stuff out, eye snot, if you will, an entire string just comes off my eye and it feels good for some reason. Singing on stage. Feeling the crescendo of the band all around you while doing a key change and absolutely nailing the high note. Feels spiritual. Picking out the perfect Tupperware to fit the amount of leftovers you have. When it fills it completely without going over the edge. I go over the edge. Eating chocolate during a hot shower. Sometimes I like to get a bunch of expensive chocolates. Usually truffles. And then take a comfortably hot shower. I feel like a queen. Cleaning ears out with a Q-tip after it's been a while. I know we're not supposed to, but it just feels so right. Finally getting some privacy to scratch that itch on your balls that's been driving you crazy. Chills. Taking my bra off after several hours and scratching my. Holy cow, it feels good.